No problem. You can't have bell. I didn't want you coming with a more. I just coming with bell. No problem. Thank you, Mr. Presiding. Mr. Presiding, you know, every time you preside, I'm very proud of you. And I want to again commend you. Mr. Presiding, I'll try to be brief. I thought the Lofa caucus would have told us about the complex being built in Foya, but since they didn't mention, I have to add it here, so because we want to know the source of funding. Presiding, we have a problem in the country, and the problem is facilitated by taxpayers' money. Our Ministry of Information has turned to a platform to attack critical voices in the country. It started with Amar Conan when his sister was sick in the hospital in America, dying from cancer. And he raised an issue in line with his legislative function. He was attacked by the Ministry of Information. Senator Creighton Duncan raised a critical issue. He was attacked by the Ministry of Information. Former President Weah, when he spoke, he was mentioned that he had mosquito brains by the Ministry of Information. When Alexander Cummings spoke, his height was measured, even though he's taller than President Buckeye, but his height was used to determine his comments by the Ministry of Information. When Bishop Cotto Brown, a cleric, a man who has been very critical of even past governments, Samuel Doe, Charles Taylor, Eddie Salif, George Weah, even now, Cotto Brown, everybody knows him in this country. When he spoke, he was asked by the Ministry of Information to go and be a politician, but bombarded by that ministry. Former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor, who spoke at an opposition gathering, she was attacked by that ministry. The point I'm making, Mr. Presiding, that is not the responsibility or the function of the Ministry of Information. They cannot use government platform to attack critical voices in the country. And I think we're sitting down looking at it and we think it's funny, but it's very serious. The minister and others have a platform at night they can go to. We consider an informal sector. You say what you want to say there. But when you go at the Ministry of Information and you begin to attack critical voices and insulting people, national leaders, I think they are diluting the standard of that ministry, and it's turning more to a gangsterism situation. I think they need to work on it. They need to work on it. Yeah, I like that word. They need to work on it. Today might be others, today might be people in the opposition, but tomorrow they might come home. Even people, females, today if you look in the country, people just insulting each other. But the premise is for the Ministry of Information. Because if you're using the government platform to start insulting people, you would think that insult is normal in the country. You just insult anybody. That's a nominee now who's coming before us for a confirmation, a female nominee. Another female goes on a talk show to say something critical. She goes and insult her colleague, a female colleague also. So, Mr. Presiding, I hope we do something about it. But this is not all to the Ministry of Information. A few months ago, the Ministry of Information lied on me that I want to destabilize the country. I complained to the Liberian Senate. The Senate invited the minister. He came along, the Minister of Justice, and we had a conversation. Nothing has been done about it. It's affecting my reputation. It's affecting me in the international scene because the ministry lied on me. So, presiding, I'm informing the Senate that if nothing is done about it, I will have to consult my lawyer and I will go to court. But my name must be clear. I don't think that's the job of the Ministry of Information to lie on critical voices, insult people in the country. So the way we insult, now everybody can get insult. The last time, Mr. Pizarri, you as chairman of the committee. Jimon, you were happy when you're on Star Radio. Who are you happy again? Thank you. Mr. Pizarri, the last time you were presiding over a meeting here, Foreign Affairs Committee, when I raised an issue with officials of the Foreign Ministry, and they took the airways and insulted me. If we cannot be protected for our view on this flow, then we don't have anywhere else to be protected. And I think if the Senate will just sit down, will just fold our arms and look at it, it won't help us. Just other minor issues. The issue of the rural and urban university instructors, I think there's a problem in the country. I hope that we can have the Honorable Koga raised that issue in the letter. Unfortunately, he's not here, but it's a serious issue that is affecting community colleges around the country, including our own county government. I hope we can look into this matter and try to resolve it. And finally, presiding, I hope the Senate can inquire from the Ministry of State or Ministry of Finance. I'm told there's a multi-million-dollar complex being constructed in Foya. So I don't know if it's from the budget or it's a private project or international project, but I think we want to know what's happening in Foya. When former President Weah built his complex here, he said it was a private property. So we want to know in Foya, if it's for the government, if it's for Mano River Union, which I know is not for Mano River Union, or if it's for a private investor, we want to know. But it's very serious. And if it's for the budget, then let's say the movie tell us, or say the our chair, say the chairman of public works, what part of the budget that funding came from. But it's a very serious issue. I think we should not overlook it. It's not a society bush. It's visible, and we want to know about it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Colleague, Senator Jordan. Hello.
Hey, Alex Salon.
Colleague. Senator Chair, I got you here. Senator Tyler, 1 minute. This is the Senate. Forget about who raising these issues, but the issues raised by Senator Snow has a general, broader implication on this country. And we, as host of elders, regardless of being rescue mission people or opposition people, when we honor this roof, we are the host of elders. We got to give some guidance to what's happening in the country. I think we meet as leadership so that we can empower our relevant committee to engage with the Ministry of Information. 2, I left to Senator Snow. We have a Minister of State designate coming for confirmation hearing. He's sitting as the Minister of State with our portfolio for special projects already. He's coming for confirmation hearing. We should ask those questions about what's happening in Lofa when it comes to this villa, presidential villa, so we can have the proper, credible information and know how to deal with the issue because it is concerning. Yeah. That Senator Tyler, we're not debating. I just wanted to get guidance. Yeah, I wanted to get guidance to the things so it can appear like the Senate hearing these things and doing nothing. We just return to session. Let's deal with this issue as House of Elders and put it in perspective and for correction. Senator Tyler, go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you. And thank you to my colleagues for a well-deserved break. The people of Bomi County and Western Liberia want me to extend their thanks and appreciation to the Liberian Senate for the establishment of the Western Region University. We believe with the university will help to contain some of the educational issues regarding our region. We want to thank you very, very much. We are also happy about the news we are hearing that the government of Liberia intends to carry out the construction of the road from the Seaport Bridge to Bo-Warasa, to Clay, to Bo-Warasa, and to Tottenham, and subsequently to Bubulu City. I want to thank the government. We want to thank you. We know it will be coming here. We want to ask you to please expedite it so that we rehabilitate the roads. The third point we want to make is about our legislative projects in the county. I'm happy we've started. The projects are ongoing. I hope we'll continue to do so. So from Western Liberia, especially from Bomi, I want to say thank you. But I have two other things in my mind this afternoon which I want to state quickly. One has to do with the concession years that we have in the country. The Western cluster, for example, is already bombing. And from time to time, we continue to experience problems regarding their operations. They've been here for the last 15 years. We got 10 more years to go. It's our information that the agreement has been negotiated, renegotiated to come to this body for ratification. I think this is the time that we must correct and put the necessary safeguard in place to ensure that the right thing is done. I remember in 2024, in January when we took over, and I listened to almost all the senators that spoke. The Constitution was being robust in our work, in our oversight, in our representation. I hope we can hold on to that. I cannot master Western cluster without mentioning AML. They've been here for some 20 years and want to renew. Now that we have their backs on the wall, this is the time to push to ensure that our colleagues in Bonn, Lima, and Basel get a just share, and that the country Liberia get a just share of what is happening in Nima. Finally, we heard that the National Oil Company of Liberia has concluded and or awarded some oil blocks to some institution. And those blocks or those agreements are on the way to the legislature. But I'm troubled because I heard one of the companies named Oranto. If my memory can serve me right, I'm wondering what I want to see Oranto that came here, obtained 3 oil blocks without doing anything, flipped them for 150 million years, 150 million, and the country did not benefit except for the capital gain tax, which is just barely 10%. I hope that we need to look at those agreements and where necessary, suggest some amendments so that whosoever obtains such agreements and resources and intend to flip them, the country will have a just benefit. I think 10% is not sufficient. And I will urge the committee to thoroughly look into that. Having said, I want to thank you, colleagues. Thank you. Having said that, colleagues, I want to thank you for the cordial working relationship, and I hope that together we can serve the people on that period. Thank you.
Margie County, Senator Tony J. Inaga Lukwe.
Senator Lukwe, you and Musa Baby got the same height?
Thank you. Mr. Presiding Officer, distinguished honorable members of the Liberian Senate, I'd like to join previous speakers to welcome all of us back on the final leg of our sitting for this year. I'd like to bring few key issues to our attention, but again, I've been wondering in my mind to what end. I said this before. After every break, we come and make these beautiful presentations. These views are not synchronized to form part of our working agenda for that particular city. And I think we should go beyond just mere presentation here to ensure that the critical governance issues that are presented here, besides some of the death announcements I will made here, and they are synchronized, and then subsequently form part of the working agenda for the Senate for that particular sitting, so that after the sitting we can self-check and say, look, when we came from the break, these critical issues, governance issues were presented, and at the end of the sitting, this is how far we went in attempting to address them. I said it before, and I'd like to recommend that again, Mr. Presiding Officer. Having said that, I'd like to bring to your attention the issue of the Decent Work Act, which we've been working on. As many of you are aware, Mike Gibby is a plantation-based county, and many of our people look forward to us in showing that some of these critical amendments are made to address their concerns. We work as a group. The final draft is available. Mr. Chairman will submit the report maybe next week. We'll create your indulgence so that we all can critically look at what ever is going to be presented so that we can make a decision and then move on with this process. It has been here for so long. It's about time that we act in the interest of our people. I also like to bring to your attention the issue of independent contractor versus quote-unquote employment. As of the passage of the Decent Work Act, wherein the minimum wage was raised to $5.50, many of the employers in the private sector begin to renege on their responsibilities of employing Liberians. They switch to giving their core functions to independent contractors. Our people, there's a great outcry out there, especially those of us from plantation counties, from counties that have concessions. To bear me witness that almost all of the core functions of these companies are being given to independent contractors. If you are an independent contractor and you employ people, you don't provide for housing, you don't provide for education, you don't provide for health care. And we believe that's why most of the companies are avoiding, and they prefer to go the way of independent contractor rather than employment. If you look at the Decent Work Act, this issue of independent contractor was not addressed in the Decent Work Act. And I think we need to review this in line with the Decent Work Act and ensure that the appropriate decisions are taken to either amend the act or ensure that the right thing is done. I also like to bring to your attention so that this sitting, we can endeavor to critically look at the issue of volunteer workers. This is one of the issues, this is one of the perennial issues that we have had, government after government. But it's important at this time, since the budget will be submitted at the end of this month, let's begin to engage the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, so that these volunteer workers' employment issue can be addressed. Finally, I'd like to bring one other issue to our attention. I intend to do a communication, and I'd like for us to pay critical attention to this. It's important if you want to establish a middle income business entrepreneurship in our country, we need to clearly establish as to whether we need to support domestic manufacturing as we are doing compared to importation. There are critical goods, if imported, can be sold for less than the amount that manufactured goods have been sold for. So by indicating that we want companies to do local manufacturing, and by the fact that they are doing local manufacturing, nobody should import those goods or commodities that have been manufactured, we are imposing an immense burden on the shoulders of our people. Because those goods, or some of those goods that are locally manufactured, are very expensive compared to if they were imported. And I don't want to begin to name them, but I'd like for us to critically review all of those businesses, all of those commodities, and establish as to whether local manufacturing will help our people or importation will help our people. I'd like for us to critically look at that. I will table a communication for our consideration. Thank you.
Yeah. Three Margie, Senator Natalia F. McGill. Then we'll go on to River says Senator Wellington Jibber Smith.
Mr. Presiding, distinguished senators, I want to be grateful to God for our return safely, and it is my hope that we conduct the affairs of the Liberian people. First on my agenda, on behalf of the people of the river, says we want to commend government that since the end of the Civil War, we went through a rainy season without sleeping on the road. First time. Even last week, I was in Cestas. Tomorrow, I'm going back. Secondly, distinguished colleagues, on behalf of the people of River says, we want to appreciate this government, the Liberia Electricity Corporation start testing power in Cestas City. This is an emotional situation for some of us who born in Riverside, grew up there. We know what we have been going through. For electricity, not generator, to be switched on in Riverside, we know that we are out of the wilderness. Our country has been in the woods for a very long time. The national system used propaganda to keep us behind, but God has time for everything. Today, we're not talking much about Niji in Riverside, St. Joseph Waka, St. Ferry there. No Niji being in Riverside again. St. Joseph Waka, St. Ferry there on the Sasa River. No. No Kinoa capture on the Sasa River again since Joseph Waka, St. Ferry there. Today, we are moving smoothly. My distinguished colleagues, our legislative projects ongoing, a 3-room apartment as part of my legislative projects that we're building in the county for doctors that will be assigned in the county. The projects are being completed. Okay. Let me just summarize. And so we've even provided furniture for the data quarter will be dedicated soon. But presiding officer, distinguished colleagues, before I take my seat, I would want to appeal to central government. The issue of ritualistic killings in the interior of the country is getting too much. National security are so reluctant. People, it appears that the interior have turned out to be a portrait farm, or people just grab human beings and just kill them secretly. And the pain is left with the family to nurse the wounds. That can make the public to lose confidence in the security and justice system of the country. We appeal to central government to look at it. Just a month ago, my childhood friend, who and myself grew together, he just owned his farm, and the people in the interior live their farming life. The man just disappeared from the farm. Just wanted to find his body 3 days ago with the teeth, the tones, everything, the eyeball, everything extracted. And so we appeal to central government. Ritualistic killings is creating fear in the interior of the country. Thank you very much.
Senator Bill, Tier
Careful of the time, please. It's 3 minutes per capita. Mr. Presiding, distinguished colleagues, I want to join those who came before me to say welcome back to everybody. During the break, we visited Riverside County, and there are some issues that the people of Riverside want us to bring before you so we can resolve them. One has to do with volunteer teachers. Cecil High School has 4 teachers who are teaching key subjects. There were those teachers that have sleepless nights that help Riverside to come first in the Republic of Liberia. They have threatened our students that they will leave Riverside if their name cannot be placed on government payroll. The teachers told me to tell you, and they told me that Bill 12 you do small work. So now you're sitting home for 3 months, you're still on break. We have sleepless nights. Even the poor on payroll for all of them, 150 or 300 are beating for you. They want us to tell my fellow lawmakers that even a little payroll of $300, we should make sure that we place them on the payroll. And I think it's not peculiar to Riverside alone. It's all across the country. So, Chairman on Finance, let us make sure that the coming budget will place volunteer teachers on the payroll. Other than that, the next result you're getting in Riverside will be very bad. Because those brains that make things so happen in Riverside have threatened to leave Riverside if we cannot put them on the payroll. If we are carrying more than 5,000 home and we cannot get a $300 job, so when they got BSc, and we cannot get a $300 job, we can put a new on the payroll, they will leave Riverside and we will not have any teacher there. So I'm appealing to my colleagues, Education Committee Chair, let's make sure that our teachers are placed on payroll in this coming budget. The people of Riverside want you to do that for them. Another thing, I want to tell the government, thank you for making legislation to go to Riverside. Our people are happy. Years when they saw poles being planted under the then government, roads being cleared under the then government, they thought it was a joke. Bring back the time. So this government did very, very good job by continuing what the other government started. So thank you that today we are sleeping on a yellow city in Riverside County. When we get teacher, we're making big money. In Riverside, like my senior senator told you, ritualistic care is still ongoing. And we have not left the needy. The other day, the man just walked to the water, he left his out. As I was telling you the other day, the guy just walked to the water. And people were calling him, he was just going. He just walked to the water and he remained inside. That was about 1 month ago. So Niki stayed there. It is part of our tradition. And it stayed there. And people are... To catch you, we don't need ferry to catch you. We can call you water in the water, you remain inside. It has nothing to do with ferry. Another area of concern, our hospitals in Riverside. I visited several clinics in Riverside. Even to get tablet they have. Aspirin not there. They are telling us that to tell the finance committee to put money in the budget so we can buy drugs. They can't say they have already cleaned it and nothing in the clinic. Chairperson on health, please make sure. Oh, yeah. The people of Russia want me to inform you that the incoming budget, we should have consideration on those health workers and the teachers. I thank you, I submit.
No time limit. Professor again. No time limit.
No time limit. Former protest.
Dispensation.
So I will start with what Senator Snow raised. He asked, what are we doing on the FOIA project issue? So I texted the Minister of Public Works on Monday. I told him that I'm making a presentation today, and clearly the senators will ask me. So where he has information on what's going on in FOIA, because it has become a public concern. Texted me back that you're going to ask the project advisor and get back to me. So I'm still waiting. So I will start with, since I'm on that topic, I will start with basic infrastructure. Seaports. The Senate, made a decision to unbundle the MPA so that Sino, PASA, Maryland can be independent. We did a bill, as you know, sent to the House, was passed, but the President vetoed certain part of it. So it is time that we look at the President's veto and take the appropriate action. We need to do it as soon as possible. Airports. Here also, we had a public hearing and we decided to call all the actors, discuss the domestic airports, and said that there was a need to revitalize them, revamp them. The sectors came and made a presentation and gave up and said they had a plan. Since that time, we have not heard from them. It is time that we call them back so we can finalize that. The rail system. You know, Guinea right now is almost completing its rail from one part of the country to the next, costing more than $20 billion. The Guineans want to connect all their deposits, all their mineral resources, their forests, everything, forest products, to the rail. There's a proposed rail authority. It is time also that we formalize the establishment of that authority or designate another agency to start planning, at least to plan for a rail system. It is very important that we can also do the same thing, connect all our deposits, make sure that forestry is also connected so that we can develop
our own rail system. It's also time to look at that. On the issue of roads, right now government is looking at certain road concessions. The one that's in the advanced state is the 255 kilometers of road in the west and northwestern part of this country, from St. Paul Bridge to Clay Junction, from Clay Junction to Port Waterside, from Medina to Ravenscourt, and from Clay Junction to Thomasburg. There's also discussion, maybe the Volume of Maricoma, I left that out. Maybe the segment from Brewerville to Opolu may be considered, depending on other circumstances. So that's being looked at. There's also proposed concession for Mapo Town in Grand Chile to the Port of Port of Greenville, that will give access to activities from the Putu Mountains, the Iron Ore that's there, activities in the Sapo National Park, and other economic activities there. There's information also that the Eton concession and the Iboma have contacted government. Contacted government to revitalize the concessions. So all the discussions are going on. Yellow machines. The information we have is that 8 companies were notified to take part in a restricted bidding for those yellow machines. 3 companies submitted bids, the bids for that, and 1 company was selected called the Evergreen Import-Export Liberia Corporation at a contract price of $21,646,035. That is almost 21.6 million on September 5, 2025. That is good. I think we started with 80 million. So we must thank the presidential committee headed by the VP for doing a very good job. From our understanding, that a letter of award has been given to the company, and a contract has been negotiated. After that, once government gave an advance payment, then the ball will start rolling.
How many pieces of the machine?
We know 289. Everybody knows 289. But the final contract will say all those. But how many? I see 289. Okay, maybe. Zuni. Yeah, we had a public hearing. Anytime there's rain, people cry. So there's flooding all over the place. And one of the issues we identified in this plenary is that one of the factors is violation of the zoning law. People building in alleys, people building right of way. We asked Public Works to go do his job. The Public Works I started doing his job. I was seeing people who were crying are crying again. They say the Public Works breaking down their places. I contacted the Ministry of Public Works, and they say yes, they are trying to implement the zoning law, but they gave due process. First, they notify you, and they give you enough time. During that time, they give you opportunity for hearing. You can come back to the Ministry of Public Works.
The whole rule According to my information, according to documents I get here, the court rule, the court rule that the woman do not have anything to do with those people. But because of the credible information we're getting, the speculation, how they challenge how they call Jack is the one that renovated and furnished a guest house in Nimakande, the chief just said guest house. That's the information we're getting, and we're trying to get all our information correctly. We will compare all of that and push it in judgment. The people, if lawmakers will not get involved with pushing things because we're scared, maybe I want to correct on case of Region. Anytime I can reach out, Hanoi the way you want Hanoi, I don't care. You want me to be guilty? When I somebody slam me say guilty, judge it the way you want to judge it, but we will talk. It's too much in the country where people are suffering. Sit down, look at somebody. You go ruin somebody for the day you house from our information. It's been speculated that you ruin somebody for the point where the chief justice now, according to information I'm trying to get to the former central bank governor. How to call the former central bank governor according to my information. Oh, you know, Mr. Telu, the money you came and the money you gave me that will win. You can't stop the man. The head lawyer now called and you call to tell the police to change the money because the money ratty. Oh, when there's no smoke. Mr. Chief Justice that decided to accept that you are dumber. We try to push out all our reports. Then we push the indictment, the impeachment bill. There's the core page of the impeachment bill. I will post the particular one on my page. Go there, go follow it up. Then you will know that I impeachment bill for you. While in Ghana, I talked to my team of lawyers to prepare the impeachment bill. I will just put the first page on my page. So you can view it to know that that fasting will be fact. So you can view it to know that instead of the clerk of the Supreme Court ready to send the ruling down from the Supreme Court or from even if you are justice in Chimas, can your special assistant is right? And the clerk of the Supreme Court, but you know when you're doing something very dubious, you will use your Allah. Sorry, maybe the English is not correct.
Correct.
You correct, eh?
Yeah.
You use an Allah to exploit the process.
So how you learn it?
Like people, anybody get information on the Chief Justice here that accepted the people of Drummer. This is my orange number. It is on. I will put it on my page. I come to announce it. It's also on WhatsApp. Send it to me. In your lawyer can talk, I will talk. 0777 51 33 13 0777 51 33 13. And I say, come on, call me. To be telling me bullshit on my phone. Oh, Mr. President, I call the spirit. Don't speak to me about what you're coming for. My telephone number is for information so I can inform the public. I'm not trying to call me. I didn't see on my orange number, my blue star number, where it was for people to find out if the number is true so they can make their contribution. People talking and started calling me. That number, blue star number, is not for calling. Anybody call me on there, I will block your number if you didn't call to make your contribution. It's not to tell me hello. Please, I beg you. Please, I beg you. You know what I call my number for? When I lay down, 10 o'clock in the night, you don't use my number to be blocking you for your friend. Your lawmaker can answer the phone. Hold them my phone, they scared. The whole of yesterday, people calling me for money. Oh, now your boss will tell you. The people that respond to our boss are not them. Are not them. And now I told them, the people that were calling me for money, all of these, I give it to the people that are supposed to know who's supposed to say bosses for you. How you being in leadership? Your own people call you can't answer your phone. What makes you leader? You want to use them to kind of power to exploit the process? What's wrong with the great people? The only thing we want is power. For what? Oh yeah, I get a number to the people there. The other one come, I came out the money. I told him to disturb you. Now you always should disturb. I'm an invitee. I'm a member of the opposition, but I'm a special guest. And I'm not a boss business. You tell the people what happened to boss business. And one power will come down to our people. The town is supposed to speak for our people. Lawmaking is advocacy. Lawmaking is advocacy. You need to advocate for your people. What am I doing now that I didn't do 6 years ago? When the unity party was, oh, hero. Today they say, oh, praise me. You tell me that my leading unity party and leading no cops and no criminals, hiding them, and we hang up because the ball has bounced and the rule has changed. Let me say thank you and God bless everybody. Rather than our wedding by the Sanian Island, you can't tell me all today. We're going to blow Somalia here today. I can't prepare for it. Anybody hijack me against our rules, we will do what we're supposed to do here. I do not recognize Reject One Speaker. And I said it.
How long will this go for?
how long
It's going to go as long as they can respect the Supreme Court of this country. I decided to walk out. And I was waiting for them to come and put me outside. Today, what I wanted was going to be very, very different today. That's what myself wanted. What's wrong with them?
So you want to war?
And so, folks, we'd like to say good evening to all of you and welcome Vic Sibling to BKS TV and welcome to the Heat Out program here on BKS TV. On the Heat Out, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullets. In today's edition of the show, we will be hosting former representative of Electoral District 2, Nima County, Honorable Prince Otis Said Tukpa will be our guest tonight on the show. He served as representative for Electoral District 2 twice, from 2011 to 2023. He served as representative of that district. Honorable Prince Otis Tukpa will be our guest here tonight on the show. Recently, he joined the Citizen Movement for Change, and we will be asking him all of the political questions tonight, and our discussion will center around Liberia politics and Nima politics too as well. Again, folks, we'd like to say welcome to the show. Those of you joining us via Facebook and YouTube, we say good evening to you, good morning, good afternoon, depending on your location, and a warm welcome to you. Those of you also listening to us via radio on Voice of BKS and Voice of Tapeta in those both cities and town, would like to say welcome to the show here too as well. My name is Junior Payne, your regular host of the show, and DK Way is in the back. The CEO is also in the back. Madam Lorena Donke just joined us in the back. We're going to be bringing all of them on tonight. But let's recognize those of you following. If you're joining us, we ask you to please, just tell us where you're watching us from, and also share the show with somebody, and leave a comment there. We're going to read it for you. G. Erickson Pine is watching us, Vic Sibling. G. Erickson didn't mention his location. Genesis Bemi is also watching us this evening. Genesis, welcome to the show. I'm pretty sure you're watching us from Banga City, Nima County. How you doing this evening? Matthew Bato Jr. is also watching us this evening from Butuo Town, Nima County. Matthew, how you doing? How is Butuo? Shadrach Wungen is also watching us from Seklepi City, Nima County. Shadrach, how you doing this evening? Alhaji Godfres Kroma is also watching us. He say, y'all please bring Chairman Amara Brooks tonight for citizens to follow the show too, not just those Unity Party people. After CDC groundbreaking, we want to hear some news. Okay, Alhaji, Amara will be joining us here tonight on the show. He's one of our panelists now, so he will be joining us. Budi G. Howard is also watching us. He says, we shall keep sharing the BKS TV as long that the national militant chair of the revolution has given the instruction and direct mandate. Thank you, Budi. Welcome to the show too as well. He also says, gone are those days that this platform used to be only rescue missionaries. Okay. Big brother Aaron Weir is also watching us. Vic Sibling from College View Community, San Nicola. Aaron, good evening. Welcome to the show, my chief. How you doing? How is College View this evening? Adolphus L. Yomi is also watching us this evening from Ominga community in Monrovia. Welcome to the show this evening. How you doing? And of course, tonight will be heavy. Tonight will be heavily loaded on the show. You know, whenever we bring politician here, it always get really heated, and it will be heated tonight. And we are anticipating a really good conversation with former Representative Prince O.S. Tokpa as we, you know, go on with today's edition of the show. So let's bring on all of our panelists. I know all of them waiting to come on, so let's bring them on. You know, yeah, it's good to have all the folks here this evening. My brother Chris Sealy is here from the CDC, a former MDR man, you know, now joined the CDC. Chris, welcome. Madam Lorena Donquet, former ANC member, but now a Kongshan. She's a Kongshan now. And TK Way, consistent member of the Unity Party, but contemplating or anticipating or joining the CMC. TK, welcome. See you having Sec Junior, a politician in disguise as an entrepreneur.
No politics. No party.
So we are no party people. Folks, how you doing? Welcome. See you. What's up?
Thank you. I like the disclaimer. You know, you don't want people to run with misinformation here. So CEO is apolitical. You know, even though I come in and ask questions, you can't even let me ask questions. Sometimes when politics getting heated, you tell me, you know, you and my own picking Alfonso will tell. Sometimes DK will just come here. No, that politics will talk me here. No, so just sit back. But overall, I'm excited. I think it's a good show. I think we'll have a really great show tonight. I'm overall excited about so many things. The major one, DK called me earlier today to congratulate me. Manchester United defeated Liverpool today. You know, all the Chelsea fans, every one of them were writing. They all had their post, everything ready to go after, including my own BCs, Lorena, and all of them. But then we made them sing. And the last goal scorer said came from nowhere, the great Maguire. You know, he's cool. And we set record. But I think Man U is ready now. We have found our footing and we are going up. No more turning back. But overall, I want to say thanks to all our followers. We appreciate you being there with us, following our show. We ask that you share our show. Not only share the platform, but go on there and like our page. The more you like our page, the more you'll get updated news. We are one big family, and we look forward to continuing this. But thank you so much for following our show.
Thank you, CEO. But the defeat today, I don't think that's something should be news. Just you are the first to beat Liverpool this season, so that's not a strange thing. We already set that record. We paved the road for you people to beat the champions of Europe. So that thing is not strange. Y'all don't make big more of it. We beat those men in too now. Nah. Lorena, good evening and welcome to the show. How you doing, ma'am?
Good evening. Thank you.
It's great having you on here tonight. You look really fantastic. I'm pretty sure you went to church today, and I know you pray for all of us here on this platform.
And she's a Chelsea fan.
I go to church every Sunday. I'm a Sunday school teacher in my church. So I went to church. Even from America, I was into God business. My Sidician brother knows that. And yes, and I pray for a peaceful Liberia that we can coexist, regardless of our political differences. We can just respect each other. Respect each other. We respect one another for who we are, not because someone is a partisan. Yeah.
Thank you. I know we're diving into the conversation as it goes on, but welcome to the show. My brother Chris Sealy, how you doing? You guys broke ground yesterday for your new party headquarters. I know you have a lot to say, but let's hear you what's on your mind this evening, Chief.
No, thank you. Good evening. And many people have it today. The only defender we can score for opponents score for them today, so they are happy. But I hope they
miss those days
continue.
of Harry Maguire. I miss those days that he used to take the ball and carry straight to a own pool and get scored.
Yeah, but he did well today again. Really, he improving, and I hope he continues that. Today we a lot of things going around this country, around the continent of Africa and also the world. And today, the former Prime Minister of Kenya was laid to rest, and he was one person who fought for the multi-party system that people of Kenya enjoying today. He was man of the match. He went to jail for over 7 or to 8 years. He came from it, he never stopped. So again, our deepest condolences to the people of Kenya. And in Liberia, there's some improvements on areas. There are lasting things on areas. And I will dive into the conversation. We will keep discussing that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. DK run away because
but I got a question though. I think
yeah.
We need to do some justice to the platform. Chris has not officially, told the platform and the followers, everybody follower that he is now a sedition. I think we're just saying it. So I know all of you might agree with me. Yeah. So Chris, I think it's good to, instead of Junior just saying you're seditions, then you should clear the air, without us just saying it.
Yeah, CEO, of course, we will do that when the referendum time comes, but for now, we maintain our position. I'm still a supporter of President Weah, which I'll still maintain. But as time goes by, we will make a position where we stand when it comes to the political parties in Liberia. Like my sister Lorraine can say, she just supporting the rescue team. I'm just a supporter of President Weah for now.
Yeah, my man. There are so many Weah than the sedition themselves. So almost 60% of sedition are all Weah. If we are joining the Unity Party today, you will see all of them going to the Unity Party. But again, it will be a good show tonight. Otopa served as representative, two-time representative of Electoral District 2. He also represents one of the affected districts in Nimba of Asila Mental concession area. So we'll be asking him all of the basic questions tonight. What are those things they did differently when he was serving as representative at that time? Because under his regime or under their regime, the communication was also brought to the floor for the extension of Asila Mental MD and the amendment. And they voted against it. They sent it back. So we'll be asking him what are those reasons that they send it back and if those things are happening today. But again, it will be a really great show and will be a good one. Let's give Madam Lorena the opportunity to enlighten our minds a little bit about early child marriage in Liberia. This is getting concerning. I don't know if you know about that, but many of the teenage girls and boys in Liberia, I keep seeing this video that popped on my FYP on Facebook by a boy from Bond County and a girl also from that area. The girl is currently pregnant. These are some of the reasons, best to my knowledge, that we always have high level of poverty within Liberia. We are not enough. But again, the planning is not being done. People born without planning. And we accept the reality that, children are a gift from God, but how do you bring the gift to the world when you keep suffering the person? Yeah. So, Madam Lorena, you being our mother on the show, also at Mayworth, give us some little bit of education tonight about these things as we await our guests to join us.
Yeah, before Sis Lorena comes in, I know that's her area. She's an expert in that field. But I got a question. Is it the same as arranged marriage, where parents will arrange marriage for younger kids before they get married and just force them into the marriage?
I don't know whether that is still happening in Liberia. I don't know, but I don't think that's happening. Arranged marriage, I don't think that is still happening. But I'm asking the point: how can we limit the teenage
Okay.
childbearing, the teenage childbearing in the country? How can we plan the future? As a midwife and also a mother, I want us to give us some bit of, education on that too. Madam Lorena, welcome.
Yes. So, are you asking about early marriage or child marriage, or early or teenage pregnancy? Which one?
Early child marriage with teenage pregnancy. How can we
Okay.
curtail?
So, child marriage, as far as I know it, is not allowed in Liberia, because our constitution say the age of consent is 18. So, even if somebody is 17 and a man, having to have any sexual relationship with that person is considered rape in our country. Even if you think you told that person and the person say yes, the father is the child is below the age of consent. That's one. And the issue of early or teenage pregnancy is serious. It stays serious in Liberia, and is increasing. And sometimes we may not think it is happening because maybe in your immediate neighbor, especially for us in the urban area, maybe you don't see a lot of people, a lot of girls carrying pregnancy, so you think it's not happening, but it's actually happening. If you go to clinic, if you go to health hospital, you will know that it's actually happening. One way that we can address it is something that have been done over the time, and we just need to do it more. Is awareness on family planning, is making sure the commodities are available, because a lot of organizations are doing the awareness. Even the health facility themselves are doing awareness on family planning, but most often the commodities are not available, so they are break in between. Because like the other time we had somebody from the County Health team on the show, and we were in the third quarter, and it was packing jars in Monrovia. They were packing the supplies for second quarter in Monrovia. So just imagine. So if a girl went to the facility and got her maybe the family planning injection, which is every 3 months, and then she went back the fourth month to get her medicine, because of that delay in supply, she will not get that medicine, and she might not even get up to 6 months. So we have to make sure that there's a supply chain is strengthened, and then make sure that commodities are always available in the health facilities. Because even if they get the message from maybe the school health club, because there are a lot of school health clubs all over the country, in almost all the public school, and then she decided, okay, since they say this, let me go and get my family planning. She went, maybe the first time she was fortunate, she got it. Now she go for a refill, no medicine. She does not even have money to go buy in a drugstore. So sometimes too, the system itself is helping to should I say break down what we're trying to rebuild. So the system have to be strengthened in a way that the supply chain. We shouldn't wait for the quarter to end supply for the counties. Maybe if you're in the second month of a particular quarter, you start packaging supply for the following quarters, so that by the time they get in the county at the county and hefting level, and then they will also because they themselves need time to be able to distribute according to requisitions from the facilities. So the system is responsible, number one. And once the system is able to have the commodities always available, and another thing is making family planning more accessible. So sometimes the commodity is there, but providers are judgmental. Oh, where you came for? Then maybe the child will say, I came for family planning, maybe she's 17 years old. Oh, someone get it. You say you're doing my business now. So the providers are judgmental, and once you say that, the girl looks around, she see a lot of older people, other young folks, she ashamed, she can't go. The next thing here will be instead of seeing you in family planning clinic, the next thing you will see you in the antenatal clinic. She get better, she come for checkup. So the system is responsible. Providers you have to be friendly, you have to be adolescent friendly, you have to know how to communicate with them. It's their privacy, so you have to know all those things, and make sure the commodities are always available. Make sure we are able to address concerns of the client. Maybe they having some issue with some sign and symptom. If we cannot address those concerns properly, they will think that something bad is happening to them and they will stop it. But actually, the issue of teenage pregnancy is serious, and that's one of the contributing factors to maternal mortality, because study prove that people who are younger, like maybe 17, 18, even 19, the pelvis is not fully developed to be able to allow passage for the baby. So most of the time, people of such, they either lost the baby or maybe they themselves. So that's what I can say about early or teenage pregnancy.
Yeah, I wanted to ask this one question. It has been speculated a lot that this issue of family planning has some negative effect. So most parents don't advise their kids to take family planning, and the end result, they end up being pregnant at teenage level. What do you have to say about that too as well?
So family planning, like any other medication, even the paracetamol we take has side effect. Every medication has a side effect. But family planning is not like, just in a drug like you will just take. So that's why it is advisable for you to go to the health facility, either the clinic, the health center, or the hospital, to get your family planning, especially your first time, because you have to go through the counseling. They have to tell you of the different commodities that are available, and then as they telling you, they tell you tablet, which type of tablet, tell you how it works, they tell you the side effect and everything. And then if they tell you all those commodities, teach on it, and then you choose, you say, okay, all the things you talk encore into, I want the injection. And then that provider will pick that injection, go deeper into the conversation the injection has to do with how it works, the side effect, the contraindications. So, and then if you still say you want it, they have to do something they call WHO medical it's called MEC. WHO MEC is medical eligibility criteria. Okay, MEC, medical eligibility criteria. So they're gonna ask you a question: do you suffer from high blood pressure that you know of? If the person says yes, obviously you can get in that injection. So it is always advisable that your first time to get on a family planning commodity, you go to the health facility where all these things are established. Maybe if they are established, you get your first injection or your first tablet or your first implant or whatever commodity you have chosen. And then maybe for refill, if maybe the clinic is far from you, or so, you cannot just go to the drugstore if you can afford to buy it. But it is not good to just walk in the pharmacy for the first time and say, oh, I can't have family planning injection. Because the man in the pharmacy is running a business. He does not have time to go do counseling, med criteria. He does not have time for all that crap. All he has time for is amount for injection, 500. You get 500, you get an injection, or you ask you carrying it when you sit down with the give them, you say, oh, they needle that this. You get a latin, you get an injection, you go. He doesn't have time to establish anything about your health. So it is always advisable that your first time to use family planning, you go to the health facility so that they can explain all those things to you. Make sure you are medically eligible for that particular commodity that you have chosen, because it is not a provider deciding for you. It is you making an informed decision based on the counseling session.
Thank you so much, Madam.
Yeah, so any woman who is sexually active, whether she's 14 years, whether she's 15, whether she's 16, once she is sexually active, that is, she having sex, she can take family planning. Nothing will happen to her once she's medically eligible for that commodity. Nothing that, oh, because she's smart, she started here, she will not born in the future. That's a big black lie.
Thank you. I don't know whether CEO have a question or ask you or an input
No,
to that.
man, this actually falls within my preview from the non-profit vantage point. I'm a how do you call it, non-profit guy. So I think one of the biggest reasons, I think Sis Lorena may even agree with me on this, is the lack of opportunity for young girls, teenage girls. And one of the ways that other countries have tackled this, even in this country we live in, is to provide incentive for young girls to stay in school, right? Provide incentive for them to stay in school, be educated, because everything that Sis Lorena just laid out, without education, is all waste. They won't comprehend that, they won't know that, they won't know how to use it. So education is very, very paramount to the implementation of any plan. So you need to provide, this has to be done by community, the government, parents, everyone, when it comes to providing incentive for young girls to stay in school, be it providing vocational education and scholarships, something to that effect that would make them to stay in school. So once you do that, when young girls are educated, it makes things really, really different. And if you look at Monrovia or other urban areas where young girls are on social media now, they are actively pursuing education, you'll see the huge gap between there and rural area, right, in the interior. So education plays a major role, and the government, other civil society, not-for-profit organizations that can help with helping young girls stay in school. It really helps when it comes to that. And also discourage. That's why I asked you if it was arranged marriage or early marriage. Discouraging that when it comes to young people, it also helps when we are talking about teenage pregnancy. So without the educational piece of it, it makes it very, very hard for any other plans that you have to take effect. So that's the major part. I think that has to be considered when it comes to that. I don't have a question for her per se, but I think that needs to be tied to everything she just eloquently laid out.
Thank you, CEO. Chris, do you have a contribution to this topic?
I don't have quite say Lorena, that's her fee. She talk much about that. They want to contribute later to where the CEO spoke from. The parents, are the most contributor to those teenage, pregnancies we see around. When I was saying this, it came a time when my niece and Asuna will lecture when people see us say, oh, like a boyfriend and girlfriend. The parents need to open our corridor. The mother, when that child reach a certain age, maybe from 12 years up or 11 years up, then the mother be able to tell the girl positive and negative aspect of life. Be able to explain that girl whenever she around her period time whatsoever. For them, we start educating that child from like 11 years to reach maybe around 16, 17, or 15 in America, because it's 12, 15 in America. But in other areas, I don't know much about it. When they're reaching around is a very critical stage that the parents need to start monitoring those kids. How many African parents do it? In Africa, how many parents in Liberia out of 100, you don't see maybe 10% doing it? That can really put their child down, to explain about these things to them. They just leave the children vulnerable. Some of them use it, a lot of children to be breadwinner for the family. They just go on the street any hour. So where she spoke for it, I think it's an issue that is challenging to our community, very challenging to our society. And one for the African parents like Liberia to take that stage or that direction, that be able to advise your girl child. This is the body will try. For the girl child or this girl children, the mother should be able to play that parental care to advise those kids when they run that age range from 11 to 18, so they can guide in the present. Because that particular age range is very difficult, where sometimes you're not careful, before you reach 16 or 17, you see the apprentices. So the mother, the father need to be involved into the daily activity of the kids from 11 years to 18 years. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Chris mentioned something very, very important that we should point out. The fact that our society, our culture, we have that taboo when it comes to having conversations, especially when it comes to girls, our daughters, right? So in African setting, it's not typical for you to see the old man and a daughter, a teenage daughter lecturing about that type of topic, right? It's a no-no. So if I don't know if our society has gotten to that point, but it is very important, as you said, Chris. I know in America it's different. In America, yeah, daddy and daughters, I mean, the relationship is completely different. You'll have conversation from a very young age. You start talking. They got churches that you'll go to. In our church, we got daddy and father and daughter dance, father and daughter date. They'll talk about everything. No hiding anything. But in Liberia, growing up now, at least from what I know, it's a little different. Our parents, you don't see the old man. That's the old man thing, or the mother's thing to do. But it plays a very major role for father because our daughters see us as who they will marry. Whoever that father is, you show you a good example of who they'll go towards. So as a dad, you have that responsibility to talk to your daughter, have that conversation with her, be straightforward to her and tell her things without hiding any secret. It makes them very, very comfortable. Oh, I got a fatherly figure in my life who's telling me this. When they're hearing it from us, it's different when they're hearing from their mother. So that's one thing we have in our society, and I think it's a little different for a father to sit and have that conversation with Chris that you just talked about uncomfortably. Some people will be very uncomfortable to have that. So I think that's something that parents definitely need to work together, both mothers and father, not just the old man and discussing that.
Thank you. I think Madam Lorena want to say something to that. Then we did get any update. Madam Lorena, are you there?
Yeah, so the issue of having conversation with our children, especially speaking of our society, for a father to hold conversation with his daughters, on the average is not like that. It's not, it's not saying that you can find. Maybe you will find it maybe 1 in 10 homes. So, but to see a guy, talking with, maybe yes, you not do your homework, you finish your homework, yeah, maybe that kind of proofing that you the father, and they get already know you the father, but you still want to prove that you the father. But to the asking question like, like if in America, I can get for you asking, so yeah, my uncle-in-law, uncle Jason, that on school will be asking, a teenager, who the guy that talking to you in school, who is your best friend? Is you a guy or a girl? How they start a conversation to be explaining, really open and explaining like she's talking to her age mate. You will not find out thing like brother because so they get say, yeah, my best friend is a guy. That people will start talking for what? You see your friend women in the look, so. And thank you, Chris, for bringing that. Also, Liberian fathers, you need to learn to speak, having those kind of friendly, healthy relationship with your children and get to know them. Because sometimes the children can be afraid of the man because man will get degree in yearly. So if you are, asking them, who's your best friend in school? And you say, my best friend is, or boy. Like my daughter, she's 17, she will be graduating next month. She in college, but she got 2 best friends, a boy and a girl. So maybe if I'm not going to, go to America and spend the time I spend there, maybe I'll be getting why your best friend I get, all the people they get out your best friend I get. And it'll be on the phone lecturing that to say they talking, explaining some African to they be lavish, will be dropping from one chair to another chair. So it's just good to know, and I'll be asking who you living with. He came from Ghana to can't go to school here, so you living with NTA because your parents in Ghana, you can't go to college, and get to know all the questions and all the things about the person because then it's easier for you to know whether your child is at risk. Because if your child say, oh yeah, this person, oh he working in one shop, he can sell liquor in the shop, you know that there's a likelihood that your child will end up drinking liquor. You know, so but if you don't know anything, you need concern about them do your homework. You need concern about, oh, you not do your homework, oh, you score 80. That's not all to it. Who your child associate with is important. What they do during research time is important. You should learn to know that. So we don't do that in Liberia, especially the fathers. They only concern not do your homework. You think they were suffering and paying my school fee. You think that for you to kind of be going sabotage, especially when I'm the man.
Oh, you come spoil the whole show now.
DJ,
You come the market man, especially short one and I
They want to get suffering. They want to tell me expensive, my all of the in that garage, my so tell me. They want to get any trade so tell me. When you call the first thing, you not asking I care about who. You not do your homework. They get say yeah, they that score 80. Why you must score 80? The other people that get score 100, they get 2 here. I won't get 1 here. Now they like real fathers can ask. So on a serious note, let's try to have start having conversation with our children, especially our girls' children, the men, and then even the women start having conversation with our boys' children. At one time, I tried to find out if my son know about why it means to be a gay. I was asking him. So he said yes. So I said, how did you know? So he said they had conference to the church in Ganta, and the men were talking about people, bad people all over Liberia, doing bad things to people's children. So when somebody call you and say, don't just say that your uncle, your father, they in room, you know. So he said because they doing it to some men, are doing it to girls, some men are doing it to boys. So he said that why it is. So and the reason I brought the conversation up because I was preparing. He going on a mission. He on a mission now. So I was trying to know what is good, what is right, what to get into. So and then he started explaining that. So I said, will you be okay if your friend or be somebody older than you wants you to be that girlfriend? Then he started showing me, God forbid, his sister, what? So I said, no, I'm not asking you. I said, so it's just good to ask our children. So you don't even know what they already know. So until you ask them and give them the right information about what they already know, they will want to even experiment what they already know, what they have heard. Maybe they didn't even get it the right way. So it's just good to always have conversation with our children.
Thank you so much, Madam Lorena. We're still trying to get our guests on here. Bear with us a little bit.
Supposed to be Senegalese.
I don't know.
Because Senegalese got network, got good network.
I don't know what is going on, but DK, you should give us an update on that. I don't know what is really going on, but let's take this break, and we will be right back. Still with us.
President Albani said most of the things I wanted to say, but I don't want to add on it. President, the biggest burden of keeping the peace in this country is on 105 of us. 105. Out of almost 5 million people in this country, we are only 105 people that are privileged to lead them. And not because we are better than them, it's because we've been given a space. There are people out there that are more qualified than all of us in this room. But we were given a space to be here. Anyone you see in government was brought in government by 105 of us. Whether you are a minister, whether you are a staffer in the legislature, whether it's the secretariat here, 105 approve everyone on the government payroll. They got to come through us. And that's why when somebody say, to whom much is given, much is expected, that's where it comes from. Brother, all the citizens they're going to pay money in government account, whether about taxes or whatever mean. When they all get rack out for that money, they don't put that right, so you think it's going to be happening. Une us, we are treated differently because the standard is here. Brother, when you go in home now, people are landing in the street. You're not better than them, but at the standard, they put you up there so they look up to you. So you must think up there. You can't think down again when you're up there. To think down there, you're not supposed to be leader. You got to resign and go back down there. And that's why when you hear people talking Akara, they're where it's coming from. Not because we hate him or because he's in position, opposition. That's not the issue. Brother, all the children, most of the children were born either 1998, 99, 2000, 2003, 2004. Those are my children. And at that age, there's a zooming. When they wear that barrel, they wear the khaki, they want to show that they strength. You're supposed to think for them and yourself. You're supposed to think for both of y'all. If those children say, I will not go there. Why am I do that? That's true. If that peace is not kept, we will not be senators. Thank you. If the issue yesterday escalated to the extent that somebody died, the citizens got in the street and brought the government down, we will not be senators. For us to be senator is for the place to be peaceful, and that's why we will keep it peaceful to ride our air conditioned car, air conditioned office, because a lot of people outside there, they get it. So they gotta be on us.
That is one we can forget.
Brother, I can say example. I was watching the video the day the guy in Guinea took over. The speaker had gone to a meeting to represent the country. And the army took over the man could not come again, not speaker again. Because there was no peace. And so when we sit here, air conditioning blowing off, security dying off, and everything is okay, it's because it is peaceful. So our best interest is to keep the peace. And even everybody want to conclude the peace because they want to take off from here, let's keep it. Then when confusion comes, will not be here. So brother Akara misbehaved yesterday. He misbehaved yesterday.
I'm telling the truth.
I mean, I'm not calling. If Akara, I will listen to the radio in the morning. Akara should have used all the calls from the radio to say, God bless you. If the boy not going to talk to me, y'all going to see what I'm going to do over there. You win, my man. You're the B-man. People know you can run behind all the children. Who don't know that? When Akara rally all the children run away from the camera, who don't know in the town? Who you want to tell? We know. Each of us here, we can gather our men and move on that camera and run those children off. Everybody know. If I want B-man, one labor. Y'all make it confusion the time you say you'll beat the picking run away. You'll beat the picking. The day you fight that picking, lie down your own finish. So don't fight him. Keep making him scary. Keep making him scary. Akara had a perfect opportunity yesterday to escape. I mean, I'm listening to the radio, everybody calling. Akara will beg you, don't go there. Akara will beg you, don't go there. Akara should have use that radio time and say, look, choir, I listen to you. I let you, all of you calling. But those children need to stop. And the administration is listening. You got to discipline the children. If you don't discipline them, the next time anything happens, I will go there. That warning.
No, to admit the Vice President Gudo, I mean, to pour joke aside, he's good. He knows how to discuss the people's interests. You know, he's good. Yeah. So, folks, if you're just joining us this evening, you are listening to the Yital program here on BKS TV. On the Yital, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullet. Tonight, we're supposed to be hosting former Representative Prince O.S. Tokpa of Electoral District 2, but we are not getting to him. We don't know what is going on. So I think we can get to our panelists and let's hear what they have to say. And maybe we call it a day for today and resume tomorrow, hopefully. And Lorena, you religiously followed the speech given yesterday by former President George Manneh Weah. I thought of us to say this before we leave. Now, The Ministry of Information, the minister and his deputy or assistant, they have been widely criticized by using some profane English or languages on oppositions. But yesterday, and this was also carried to the floor of the Senate by Bomi County Senator Edwin Melvin Snow. He said, those people need to desist. I mean, those folks from the Ministry of Information. But yesterday, he listened to former President Weah and calling to him, quote unquote, the Unity Party are charlatans, multi-bands, and all the rest of the words. Do you think, as a formal statement and also a statement of Liberia, those words were appropriate to use on state officials?
So I wouldn't just say uprightly yes or no, but like I made a post, I think yesterday evening I made a post and I said former President Weah is still following the lead of his partisans. So you and I know that a few weeks ago, what's the name? Alvin Wisse used those words on the Unity Party, and a lot of people are even going on TikTok, making a speaking of or talk of the town on internet. So somebody maybe have told President Weah, yeah, you can include that in your speech. It will people know that you're strong, this and that. But that's not be strong, and that's why when Mr. Alexander Cummings he had an interview, said he was very mature. He was objective because he acknowledged the fact that the government has succeeded in some area, and said there were still challenges that were allowed to be done, but other people from within the Unity Party, other government officials expect that the opposition leader will say the government scored 90. It means he's not an opposition leader. So even if he said the government scored 40, I would say he was objective. And things that you think the government has done that he didn't mention, just say it instead of using no words and using it. In the same way, former President Weah, as a former the immediate president of Liberia, one who is considered to be a peace ambassador, I don't think those words were for him to use. He shouldn't have, because in the first place, like I always say, President Weah is the most popular and most loved politician in Liberia. Take it from him, and it's because people start loving him from the time he was footballer. So he got that spirit that when even if he to go to a particular pharmacy to buy medicine, maybe medicine will finish that the guy will go buy medicine at pharmacy. So you got all that crap. I mean, this is so far for now until somebody else can break that record, the biggest political gallery in the absence of election year. So what was it Esther going down to the drainage to be talking to how you call government official, calling them all those names, and sadly, as most politicians are hypocrites in this country, Senator Snow, who just condemned Pierre and Sando of like a week ago in the Senate, he sat there, he didn't say anything, not even coming to a Facebook page. Maybe he made his statement before the president spoke. Agree with this or I condemn. He did not do because
sadly enough, yesterday he appeared on Spoon, and he didn't condemn that.
No, he did not. I follow it. I follow it this morning. I watched it this morning. I watched it replay this morning. He did not condemn because you know that the hypocrisy of people in Liberia is that if a bad thing is done to somebody that you consider your own, you speak about it, you advocate against it, you this, you that. But if it is done to somebody else who is not your own, you keep quiet. That's the reason why that's part of our problem. That's part of our problem. So you see, somebody, for example, in the case of the 14-year-old girl, most women United Party are quiet. They are not saying anything. But during the CDC regime, when issue of Rekima, they were wearing black every time posting on Thursday. I'm not talking about the civil society group. I'm talking about politicians who were trying to go under the umbrella of people who are doing a genuine thing. But in this case, with the alleged way with Brian Magee, they are quiet because he's one of their time. So it's the same thing with Eddie Snow. You just condemn people about a week ago of you see those insulted war on opposition leaders, but you saw another opposition start right in the program and using the same words on government officials, including the president, and you could not condemn it. We appeared on Spoon yesterday, he could not condemn. So in your mind, when you say you support opposition unity, you support opposition stealing, opposition killing people, opposition disrespecting the rule of law, opposition insulting people in the ruling establishment. To him, I think that's a understanding of supporting opposition unity. I think supporting opposition unity means you want for an opposition leader to become the next president. But if they do wrong, you have to say, because why? A government in waiting is the opposition. So if they do wrong and you can't say anything, you keep quiet, it means the day they come to power, the same thing will be happening. When they do wrong, nobody says anything, everybody keep quiet because why? They are in the lead. I think that was wrong, and I didn't expect that president who have gone that low. The same thing that led him to be one-time president. Foreign partisan say yes, you do it. That made people to reject him, to even boo at him in bombing county in Tottenham. It's the same thing. Who is having Wizard, by the way? Who has not even lived successfully in Sarah doing for 1 year? You would have traveled the world. That you will want to follow his diction on such event. I think personally we are disappointed. Even some people that were sitting in Accra, he disappointed them. But they wouldn't want to say it because when they say me, you're not a real sedition or so. But that was very wrong. That was very, very below the belt.
Thank you so much, Madam Lorena. Even though our guest didn't appear today, but this lady busy already. Chris, let's hear you, my brother. You can take us home. We'll be here tomorrow, probably with another guest. But let's hear you. Yesterday, former President Weah spoke. He gave a speech, and he referred to the UP folks as mountebanks, charlatans. And my question here is, now, one may say mountebanks is not an insult, but in the context that he was speaking, I believe that was inappropriate. As a formal statement, you cannot refer to someone as charlatans, knowing fully whether you know the definition of what charlatans is, and you know the definition of who mountebanks are. Now, if you're referring to leaders, now yesterday you condemned people for using profanity languages on leaders, and you today using those things. Now, just for definition's sake, charlatans, the word charlatans can refer to people who are frauds or impersonator who use deception to gain money or other advantages, or it can refer to the English rock band by the Charlatans. So you know the definition of this thing, my brother Grace. I want you to discuss this without partisan cap being on you, but a respect for leadership. Let's hear you, brother.
Thank you, Gian, and thank you, Lorena. First thing when you use those words, I'm a student of words, encyclopedia. So I decided to do intensive research to understand the definition of those words. And it wasn't insultive. That's one of the things I hold constant on it. And Jim tell you, if you have your woman in the house, if you keep beating on our woman, she will one day hate on you. Person, we have been most peaceful men in Liberia. You don't have to work, okay. Even if you're in the presidency, there's some things that happen in the government, even the government. There's some things they say, right? He lying. Let me tell you, Jim, if you If we keep there, we spend opposition leaders right over spoon. The information ministry that been paid for the taxpayer money. All of those guys are working in the minister, the data minister that been paid for the taxpayer money. And they are the spokesperson for the government. They are there to propagate the government agenda. Those guys are insulting up on Liberians, not just opposition, including not just men. The government. You think you can insult people who just sit by and look at you? His way was not insultive. But any song they're talking about, they didn't tell you. When the deputy minister referred to the president, we are having mosquito or flat brings. I expect the president Baka to suspend that man immediately. Right? How many of them in the opposition, in the government condemn it? No, they condemn it. When I mean insulted this old man, the clergy who are there before, what I call, everybody ran with it. They ran with it around. Even the minister, prime minister, Jordan Pierre, with the vice president, they ran around with it. They never condemn it. Right? They never condemn it. So you cannot be the sitting government in power and insult other people. You use words on them and you think not come to react on it. It's not possible. So the whole point is here what you use and not people say, oh, you're on the border rather or you're on the this, you have to use them, but when insulted war have gone through the encyclopedia, both the offer dictionary, all of it have definite meaning, it's not insulting. But the problem is the government featured information ministry that's supposed to be the mouthpiece for the country, not just the government, but the country, have been used to insult opposition people, to insult Liberians, not just the opposition. I think it's unfair. So the action of Liberia, this country that we have, both the opposition and the government, I think there is a need that we do some critical analysis on how to behave. The opposition have been paid for taxpayer money. Those people have been appointed government should be careful because they are paid for the taxpayer money. Opposition may say anything they want to say. They have been paid from the resources, or they have been paid their own salary. But you that in a position, that's why I listen to when the president, the VP now, with the senator, he made a statement, he said, 100 a year we have been paid for the Liberian people. Yes. I agree with him, 100%. But today, only here watch a VP, the information ministry have been very respectful to Liberian people. Have you questioned those people? That what he said yesterday was wrong? Have you questioned those people? So I believe that it was better for Ononoku to remain a senator. He will have a voice to speak out. Now he's tired. I understand. The VP tired. I can't hold him responsible. Where he's saying he can't do anything now. He is a packer. The VP is a packer. He cannot say anything. It would prefer for him to leave, to remain as the Senate, to voice out. Who can't say anything right now? Who have become a packer down to the garage? Nothing he will say. He will be remote control. When the president ready to go, so he will go. But he can't say anything. That's a boss. But in the Senate, he was senator. He will have vote to talk. Now he said, as far as who are going on Julia campus, yes, I'm a super. I agree. He could have gone there. But also those who don't have right to stop any elected official not to go on that campus.
Chris, that's a really old recording. A really old recording. I just decided to take a break with that. And that was the time the vice president was still senator. That was a really old recording. I beg you, don't discuss it. I beg you, my brother. Yeah.
Okay.
I beg you, Chris. Leave that recording. Stick to the issue.
So,
was it right for the former
president? Yeah, so as I said, President Weah was in you yesterday. I used the encyclopedia. I went as far as using the offer dictionary. It wasn't insultive, right? But maybe his position, a phone statement, quote unquote, maybe we'll say, well, now, now you said the news about again, who determines where some of the speech, who have controls on some of the walls. And when that is subtle, you can speak anywhere, right? So I don't want us to look at when the Chinatown or whatsoever for people to say it was, you know, it's not insulting. So again, any snow, why he said, I stand by it, that those guys for information ministry, I mean, pay for the Liberian people money, for the taxpayer money, they should not lose their office, that era, to insult Liberian people, to insult people who are contributing or who contributing to society. But again, that's it.
Thank you, Chris. My brother Sarah Dankwe is in the back. Sarah, I beg you can join us tomorrow. We are almost done. Madam Lorena, you asked for 30 seconds. Let's give it to you and let's call it a day.
Say that again.
You were putting your hands up. I thought that you asked for 30 minutes.
Yeah, so I was saying that's the same thing we saying. When your demon commit a crime, you clap. Say that was good. When another person's demon commit that same crime, you say it was bad. So the issue of was Daniel Minister Sando, David Minister Sando talk to that clergyman on my page. We are friends. Professional, he's being paid with taxpayer money to inform the citizen of what the government is doing, not to be talking to people because they disagree with the government. I said it when you talk to me at Mr. Zara Cummings, I also made a post about that. Even the lady who came, the newly nominated Deputy Minister for Urban Affairs, who came and talked to Councillor Yekula, I also made a post I made 3 different posts. So what we're saying is, if we are brave, we have the courage, the audacity to be able to stand up to people from our side who will do those things, you too should be able to do it. By the time we all do that, you will see that people will stop doing those things because they don't have support. Now a lot of people support of those things. So that's what we're saying. So it didn't go unnoticed. Talking about the vice president being a Parker, he's not a Parker. But the difference is advocacy or God level. I could wear my black t-shirt, I could hold placard in my hand, ask my position, and go stand somewhere and say this. But for the vice president, if which I know he will not allow people insulting other leaders, he will either call Daniel and say, my man, I don't think this other one is okay. You need to change, modify your tune. Or you will go to the president and say you need to talk to your people because they are working at the will and pleasure of the president, not at the will and pleasure of the vice president. You see, so even if you are senator, he cannot also stop that. He will only say in the house, but again, he get to the president dismissed, they're not standing because of the as a senator. So let's just be able to speak to people when they do the wrong thing, regardless of being the same party or not. Let's just say the truth. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Grace, my brother, thank you for being here tonight. And Lorena, thank you also. We will resume tomorrow, same time, and hopefully we will have former Representative Prince O.S. Tukpa. And there will be a lot to be discussed on tomorrow's edition of the show because, as you know, Prince Tukpa and the current vice president were elected together. They were once buddy, best of friends, and on the way, Prince Tukpa switched to, is it PAP, that political party that
yeah, PUP.
PUP, yeah, he switched to PUP, and on PUP he won his second election, and his third election he lost it, but now he has joined the CMC, and there were a lot of information we gathering about him, but we'll discuss all of them here tomorrow on the show. So hopefully we see you guys. Have a pleasant.
But do you think he come back tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Have a pleasant good night, folks.
Okay. Good night.